okay. It
cross
was
it
it was on the as of last Wednesday, the Post-Secondary Council voted me in to be the permanent Vice President for Administration and Finance. So I'm very excited. So a little bit about me. My name is Anastasia Rodriguez. I'm actually the juxtaposition of the thing that we're having the presidential forum on. I have a philosophy degree, a business degree, in accounting, and a master's in business administration. So I have both. I have a liberal arts degree, which I appreciate more than you will ever know, as well as my business training. And so I actually am very much a juxtaposition of those two things and love both of my parts of my education. But if you're not like me and you don't want to collect degrees, I promise you there are ways to sell having a liberal arts degree as well as having a more workforce ready degree. And you should do what makes you, gives you love, because if you can find a job that you love, you'll never work again. So just something to think about long term. I have been in higher education for over 20 years, which makes me feel very, very old. But it's true. I've been in higher ed for over 20 years. I actually literally went to college and we didn't exactly have, we had student community government, but we didn't have it the same way. But I was a student activities leader when I was in college. So I ran our campus Spring Fest and I was our comedy series chair. I loved doing that. I was a member of a sorority in college, and my graduate assistantship was in student affairs. So before I became the great, wonderful business professional that I became, I actually worked very much in student affairs and student government type stuff and really enjoyed those years and all the experiences I had when I was in college. And I think it's awesome that all of you are in this room doing this work and participating in these, and leading the college. It's really, really important what you all do. So the list of things that I am responsible for: dining, facilities, events, accounting, budget, campus safety, IT, and HR. That's a lot. It's 8 very, very diverse and interesting areas of the campus. So I basically tell everybody, if it's not academic affairs or student affairs, it probably belongs to me. My board works, I hate to say the word for me, with me is more of the correct term. But if you ever want to know if I'm a real deal, talk to him because he's not going to lie to you. Ted calls me usually at least once or twice a week. We work very, very closely together. I respect the crap out of what Ted does. So, and Cindy's one of my closest friends at Rick. So if y'all love them, then you're gonna love me. And I, like I said, I only say that just because, again, all the parts of the college, all the leaders at this college, we care so much about your student experience and what goes on. And oh, by the way, I also teach accounting. I adjunct over in Craig Lee 201 on Tuesdays and Thursday nights from 6 to 8 o'clock. So some people have the unfortunate pleasure of having me as a professor. The 3 topics that I was asked to speak on is the master plan, my role, and things of interest. So I'll start with the master plan. And the reason I want to talk about the master plan is because your involvement in the master plan is essential to the success of the master plan. What is a master plan? So every 10 to 15, sometimes 20 years, a college or any kind of large entity that has lots of property. By the way, we have 50 buildings on an over 100-acre campus. The way we determine how we should move forward as a campus, as far as what buildings need to be renovated, what buildings need to be built, what buildings need to be done, all these things, those are all informed by a master plan. So we have a company called HDR. Y'all probably seen Bashak. She and her team have been out on the quad. They've been in Donovan. We've had town halls on on the topics of the master plan. I know one day we were giving out Dells in exchange for surveys. All of that is an ability for the campus community, all of you and your friends and colleagues, to be involved in shaping the future of the campus. So we're trying to figure out what should be the next project. What are the things that we need? What are the things that we don't need? Where do you feel safe? Where do you not feel safe? Where do we need more lights, more security cameras? What can we do to make you feel more at home at Rick? Because for the 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, ever how long you're here, but we want it to be 4, the years that you're at Rick, we want you to feel safe and secure and at home on campus. So that means if you're a commuter student, you need a place to be able to study. We want to make sure that we have a place for you to be able to study. We want you to like the classrooms that you're learning in. If you're a resident student, we want you to feel safe and secure in your residence hall. And we're not a perfect world. Again, when you have 50 buildings on campus with 100 acres of land, you're gonna have issues. Like today, we had a water main break in a building, and it flooded the entire first floor of building 3. Luckily, the only thing there is the food pantry. So Ted and I had to be on the phone today and have a conversation about how we're gonna make sure that students who have food insecurity have access to food when the food pantry's been flooded, right? But then not only do we have to get the water shut off, we have to then remediate the building. We have to make sure we get all the water up. We have to determine if there's more things that have to be fixed, all those kinds of things. So that's the day-to-day part of running facilities, but the part of the master plan is for you to give us feedback on what you think the campus needs. Now, here's the kicker. The things that you say today probably won't happen until you have already graduated from RIC, but you have an ability to then shape the campus and what it'll be like for the next generation of students that come to RIC. Projects that came from the master plan, the last one, which I think was done in like 2010, the renovations to Horace Mann, the renovations to Gage, the renovations to Craig Lee, all those projects came from the feedback that were given by the students and people who worked at RIC the last time they did a master plan. So that's why what you do and say about the master plan is important. Things that I really want to know from all of you. One of the biggest issues that we have on campus is that we teach a lot of classes from 10 to 12 and 2 to 4. Is that what y'all really want? Would you like to see classes at night? Would you like to see classes on weekends? Would you like us to teach on Fridays? Because if you've ever noticed, if you're on campus, campus is really busy from 10 to 12 and 2 to 4. It's hard to park. We don't have enough parking because we teach all of our classes in 4 times on the day. So by the way, if you need that 5th class, you always have the ability to get that 5th class. That actually is important as part of the master plan, because one of the things we were asking a lot of the surveys are, when do you want to see classes? Because here's the thing, we have enough classrooms if we expanded the amount of time that we teach them in. We don't need more buildings, which means I can make you a better building, right? So think about that. If you have 200 classrooms and you only need 100, then I can make those 100 classrooms have better technology, or I can make sure that the air conditioning works better or the heat works better or all those things, because I'm supporting a smaller footprint, but we use it more hours of the day. Does that make sense? So these are the reasons why we ask for you to participate in the town halls, to do the surveys. Again, if you're a female on campus, or any person on campus, but I'm just talking about us women who have to walk in the dark. If you're walking someplace and you don't feel safe because it's not well lit, I need you to tell me. And the master planning process and these surveys that we're asking for is an opportunity for any student who doesn't feel safe in an area because it's not well lit, or you don't feel like there's enough stuff going on for you to feel safe walking through it. That's something that we need to know. So I'll give an example. Tess is in social work, so I'm using you as an example. She takes classes in Guardo at night. Okay, if you live on campus and you have to walk back to your residence hall from Guardo, you might not like that at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night, right? So I need you to tell me that. So this is a way for you to give me input to tell the college what it is that you need and want future students to have at the college. Does that all make sense? Okay, and I'll talk about a couple more things, and then I will shut up and let all of you ask me questions. So don't worry, there will be the question and answer part of this. So the things I will encourage you to do is, at the master planning process, I think we have a couple more places where you can participate through the end of this semester. I think there might be 1 or 2 next semester, but any chance you see anything about the master plan, if you can please attend, participate in the survey, get your friends to do so. That is your way of helping the college. So really want anyone and everyone, and I will tell anybody that, if you like that thing that we call East Campus that I want to rename because it's not that far away, we have valuable buildings there. I don't want to quite give them up, but I know, they're kind of over there. I want to put more stuff over there, but maybe it's administration and not student focused. We can do that too. So again, all reasons I want you to participate. I told you the things I'm responsible for. My general role here at the college is kind of to keep the trains on time, right? So I do all the stuff that's not popular, okay? I make sure people get hired. I make sure people get paid. That's kind of the boring stuff. I'm the person who is overseeing the area that makes sure you pay your bill. But because I'm over budget, I also help with financial aid. So we're the ones that have to budget how much RIC financial aid that we give out. I get to influence how we give out that aid. I am influential in how we pay for departmental budgets, how budgets are made, how things are done, that kind of stuff. Which affects how your classes are taught, how much, how many faculty members that we can have, all those things. And then again, I do this with a large group of people and a whole lot of consensus building. But those are all things that we do. Talked about safety. IT, we're working on it. Just want to say that we're working on it. Michael knows this, but I will tell you, hopefully within the next year, the Wi-Fi will be better. It's actually something we're actively working on. I actually had a meeting about that this afternoon, because I know the Wi-Fi is not the greatest, and that's something that we are wanting to do to make better. Like I said, I'm over events, so Ted and I have conversations about event stuff. Oh, I sign every contract that goes to the campus. Even y'all's. Well, now Cindy can if it's low dollar stuff, but anyway, one of the things about this job, and I'll just tell you the truth, is it has a lot of responsibility, and I take that very, very seriously. And again, Mike can tell you about that. I worry every day. By the way, if something happens in the middle of the night, I'm the person that gets woken up. So I will tell you this, it is the most fulfilling job I could ever have in my life. I love working on college campuses. I love the life. I love watching the students come in, and my favorite day of the year is graduation. Because nothing makes me happier than watching someone get their degree, because I know what it felt like when I got mine. And just FYI, my parents were first gen. They barely could go to school. My mother went to a school in Alabama that was very much like Rick. Her mother took care of a woman in the house in exchange for a room, so my mother and her mother could live in the same room together, so my mom could go to college. And my father was an older adult. He served in the military before he got to get his degree. And so they put into importance to me how important it is. And when I went to school, I worked 4 jobs and was a commuter student at the college in my local town to go to college. So if I want you to know that I understand the plight and the difficulty it is, because I remember what it was like when I was grading papers, doing my work study job in the math lab, being an ambassador for the college, and working at the grocery store trying to make ends meet to pay my tuition. So I just want to tell you that so that you'll know that I empathize. I know this is hard, and I know being in this room and serving your community is a sacrifice, because you're probably giving up the ability to work an hour or do something you might have enjoyed a little bit more. So that's all I'm going to say at this point. Any questions for me?
No questions? I emailed you. It's like 3 times. Come on, someone's gotta have a question. Okay, Representative Mann.
I have a question. I don't know if actually can control this. But like the shuttle on campus?
Yes.
I don't know if I know enough to speak on it, but I was talking to a fellow peer of mine, and he has a disability, and he needs the shuttle to get around. But there's an app, but it's not very helpful because it just shows you where the shuttle is on campus, and that's it.
Okay.
And
so can I tell you one of the biggest problems with the shuttle?
Yes.
Nobody rides it.
Well,
No. I know your friend has a disability, and that's an issue, and I'm taking that very, very seriously. But what I'm actually telling you is that one of the reasons why the shuttle service is not the greatest is because nobody rides it.
So I just have something. Maybe I know there's golf carts on campus. I was thinking. I know.
Golf cart Uber. Is that what you're shooting for? If you didn't know, I've actually had that thought. One of the things that we're going to look at, and I thank you for bringing it up because it reminds me that I need that to percolate to the top of my list of things to work on, is what we're going to do about the shuttle going forward. The issue with the shuttle is that it's a very expensive thing to run, but we don't have any ridership. And so that's why it continues, and I'll just be honest, it's been a thing that we don't have a great solve for. So one of the things I actually mentioned was having kind of a Uber of sorts for the campus. But again, we've got to figure out how to get that done in an effective way so that the students who really need it have it, like your friend who has a disability and needs the support. So let me keep working on that. and I'll see if I can get back to you on a better solution.
Yeah.
But that, I agree with you, that is an issue. But I will also tell you that one of the ways you can help it is to actually use the shuttle. Because if we could get the ridership up, then I can then make that, I can put more resources to it.
Well, is it like advertised enough?
No.
No, like I said, I know, it's the chicken and the egg problem,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no.
But yes, I will take that back. I just wanna write myself a note. But yes, we will look into the shuttle.
Representative LaRose.
So
Thank
kind
you,
of, in terms of campus safety, I commuted last year, I'm a resident this year. And one of the biggest problems I experienced was camera footage issues with, I know you had mentioned campus security. We have had so many hit and runs on this campus just this year alone. And I know the Don lot, like right next to the dining hall, is a big problem. But the resident lot is like really bad. I've had friends that get their cars hit and they kind of were just like, there's nothing they can do about it. But I was wondering if there was any talk of maybe improving the cameras that we have or the database that holds like the footage on the cameras.
Okay, I will take that back. We did add a bunch of cameras, I think, over the summer to the res lot, but we probably don't, I'm not gonna say that we have enough coverage there. So I will see what I can do about that.
Thank you.
Yes, Tess.
Hi, so last semester, we hosted a block party, and when that happened, we got like a bunch of different stuff, we got like bounce castle and water maker and other stuff, and with the electrical system in the quad, everything short circuited and then like scrambled to fix it, and then, so then we had next back to the youth festival that we had in September, we also had to like get a generator and get an outside electrician, and I was wondering if there's any way there could be more power for the electrical system.
Have you, so I'm gonna ask a question, did you put that on any of the campus master plan surveys that you answer? Okay. Well, and only, so let me say this, can I fix that probably in the short term? Not likely, because running power to the quad would be, is gonna be expensive. But what we could do is if we put it on the master plan, when we start the next time we renovate a building, we could possibly, I mean, we are talking about, again, future state, someday trying to rip up the concrete and not having it just be that one big humongous block of concrete. When we do that, then we would be able to run electrical. The thing is, you have to run conduit underground to get electricity out into the middle of an open spot. But I would say this, please put it on the master plan if you have a chance to give that feedback. I will write it down and I will also email that to Bashak to make sure we put that on from my perspective. But I just want you to know that that's not an easy or inexpensive solve, but I have made a note and I think that's an excellent idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Levis.
Hi. Hi Anastasia, thanks for
Hi,
coming.
Carrie. You
I
and I are
have,
friends.
I have one request and then I have a question for Anastasia. When we have guest speakers, is it possible that we introduce themselves to I would like Anastasia to know that's Malcolm. I would like it so that when we're speaking, that we begin to tell the senior execs at the college who we are, all of us. So I think that if we get used to doing that, that would be helpful. Is that okay? For the people, yes, okay. Secondly, Anastasia, first of all, if you need anything done, that is the person. She gets anything done, even if it's difficult, and this whole thing, I've been at Rick 4 years, this whole idea of the Rick runaround, I know it's a thing, but I have found more people actually that don't do that than do, and Anastasia is a person that gets things done, regardless of if you're an assistant professor that's up for tenure, or if it's someone that already is a deanship. So that's my own endorsement of her. My question is, can you give us a little bit of an overview about the financial state of the college and its health?
Thank you for reminding me to say that.
Okay.
So one, Perry, that is the highest compliment you could have ever given me ever, and so can I just say thank you? Oh gosh, I'm getting teary because this college means so much to me. Okay, financial state of the college. Right now we are in good health. So the things I want to tell you that are good. This year so the state of Rhode Island supports this college. Really, they do. Now, could we always use more money? Absolutely. And I'm never going to tell you that we'll turn down turn down state support. But the things that the state does that is great for this college. One, our state appropriation is pretty fair and is the best. So I've worked in Alabama, Maryland, South Carolina, and now in Rhode Island. The state of Rhode Island supports Rick better than any state that I've ever worked in any other college I've ever worked in. So our state appropriation is, while it could always be better, is more than fair. They support about 60% of Rick's overall budget. What does that mean to you? That means that while we still have to have tuition increases and we still have to charge you tuition, we actually have the lowest tuition for in-state students of any of our peers in New England, period. And actually, I'll tell you that the tuition here is as affordable as it is in my home state of Alabama. And the South is supposed to technically be cheaper. So I'm just saying, Rick is a very good value from what you pay and what you get. That being said, also, you have access to the Hope Scholarship. That scholarship is huge. The concept that if you could get yourself on track and get out of here in 4 years, that you can have 2 years for free is unheard of in 4-year education. And the fact that the college also tries to support, especially our lower income students, on the first 2 years so that we can then get you to Hope is also a big thing. So the fact that we can do any of those things actually shows that Rick financially is in pretty good shape. Does that mean we will always stay that way? Here's the challenge. Y'all have heard of the Big Beautiful Bill, right? The Big Beautiful Bill changed a whole lot of things. So for fiscal 26, so for this academic year, we're in good shape. We have enough money to run the college. Everyone's gonna get paid. Everybody's fine. Nothing has to change. I cannot promise you that for fiscal 27. Now, am I doing everything in my power to make sure that it doesn't affect anybody? Yes. But can I promise you that? No. So let me explain why. In the Big Beautiful Bill, a couple of things happened. They've removed work study. They've removed SCOG. So that's 2 forms of federal financial aid, poof, into the thin air. Luckily, they have not changed Pell, so that's good. They haven't changed subsidized and unsubsidized loans, but they have taken away graduate plus loans, which could affect some of our students that are like in our doctorate of nursing practitioner programs and stuff like that. So they might have a little bit of a thing. But for most of our undergraduate students, they'll still have access to the same financial aid except for federal work study and SCOG. So let me tell you what we have done. So if the state will fund the college at what we call our current service level. So we have now sent in our budget to the state and requested our current service level for next year. If the state funds us at our current service level, the college has now set aside money to replace federal work study and SCOG with our funds so that we can keep our students whole. That was the first thing I did when we built the next budget, was to make sure that those 2 forms of work study using our money will still be available to our students. But that also now requires us to then get our budget passed at current service level. I am also starting to look at our vendor relationships and things like that, because I'll just tell you, 80% of the college is our personnel. So the people that we pay to work here are 80% of our budget. That I cannot change unless people no longer work here, which we don't want to have happen, right? So the reason we always hope for current service level budget is that means that we don't have to make any decisions. Now, one of the things that we can do is that if we see that there's any kind of economic downturn coming from the state, one of the things that we will start looking at is if people leave the college, then we might question whether or not we have to replace the position. And that's, again, because we don't want to ever have to say someone who currently works here no longer works here. We want to just let people who choose to not work here anymore, make that be the way we cost save ourselves into a position where nobody has a problem. Does that all make sense? So this is us trying to protect everyone who's currently here and not make anyone feel any any problems. But one of the things that's going to happen is that Medicaid, and I think you've heard about this, that the federal government's no longer funding Medicaid. Medicaid is a huge part of the state of Rhode Island's budget. If the state tries to make up that gap that the federal government's no longer presenting, that will make it very difficult for the state to necessarily have enough money to give Rick all the money that we need for what we're calling our current service level. So that's when we have to start doing contingency planning, like thinking about positions, thinking about people, when positions that will replace, is there things that we can give up so that again, we can continue to do what we do every day. Does that make sense to everybody? Perry, is there anything else I could be more thoughtful in responding to?
No, the only thing I would just say is we should watch the fact that with the early retirement plan that's not fully cooked yet, that has been approved by the Office of Post-Secondary Ed, that current faculty will be evaluating, right? For whether or not they're gonna take an early retirement, that I think SCG and the students should be aware that we may actually have a loss of significant faculty across departments. And if we're not able to replace those faculty, it may mean that departments are not able to offer the courses or to offer the majors or minors that are currently on the books. And it should just be something that we're aware of. Because when people retire early, you all know that those are typically more expensive people that when they retire, because they've been at a college or university. So I just want to make sure that we keep that we're aware of that and the students are aware of that. So that would be the only other thing.
Thank you. We're gonna hear from Representative Mann, and then Representative Pacheco, Treasurer Hoyos, and then Representative Reed. And then maybe one more question. Okay, so Representative Mann.
Okay, so this one's kind of out there. Not like out there, but like it's out there enough.
Have at it.
So online classes.
Mhm.
I've taken an online class right now, and I know plenty of people take online classes, and I understand the point of them. But it's for me personally, and I know this isn't for everyone, but for a lot of people who take online classes, it's like because there is no other like course running, like there's not an in-person class running, and I don't get the same experience online in like an asynchronous class that I would in the classroom.
Okay.
And it just doesn't feel like real school.
Okay.
You know?
So I'm gonna just be honest with you,
Yeah.
I don't control that, that's in academic affairs, but I will share that information with my colleagues in the provost office. You know, I've taken online courses and I hear you. I teach in person because I think it's valuable to be in a room with my students and have that interaction and be able to look and see, do I think they're learning, you know, whatever. But like I said, I'll take that back. I personally would always try to make it where there's at least one in person and one online section. That's me personally, but again, I don't do the scheduling and I don't want to speak for my academic affairs colleagues, but I will take your feedback back to them and share it with them. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Representative Pacheco.
So, first thing is I'll put another vote in the online classes.
Okay.
Suck. Nobody prefers them, I don't think, like in terms of teachers or students, for the most part. Another thing was like the cameras,
Are
right?
you voting for or against online? For, so
For?
so I'm just
Okay.
gonna say, there are some people who do like them because they offer flexibility, they don't have to be in a classroom at a certain time and they are better at the thing, but again, that's not
We could
but
do-
that's different people.
We could do a vote, and I don't think you should have them in lieu of the in-person classes, in addition to
I hear you.
sounds.
In addition to, I hear you, absolutely. I will make sure I make that note.
Representative
Yeah.
Marcotte, do you
Okay.
have something to say about online classes?
Sure do.
You do?
I totally agree that we shouldn't have them in lieu of having in-person classes. I'm an in-person class teacher all the way. But there are a lot of students that need hybrid or online classes. But this goes back to Dr. Levis's comment about how many faculty we have. Because if there's only one of me, I can't teach both ways. And so when people retire, we don't have people to teach multiple sections or to teach on multiple days or also on the weekends. I can't be here in the morning and at night. And so if we don't have enough faculty, then we can't offer you guys all of these different things that you want. And so again, just sort of bringing to your attention that like, this is a major issue that I think you have more control over than you think. But I think that like, this all comes back to, do we have enough faculty to run a college where colleges are based on learning?
So as long as we're bringing that up too, the departments are experiencing attrition. Like already, there's problems where classes can't get taught or they can't get taught with the frequency that they need to. And I've encountered it is I'm doing 3 degrees and I'm kind of time crunched, so maybe I'm an exception to the rule, but there are definitely situations where classes, we have the students to have a class, but we don't have a professor that can teach it, or we do, but they're adjunct only, and so you can only do so many classes a semester. I think the School of Arts hired 1 person last year or something like that. It was very low.
It's more than one, cause I sign off on all those, but I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's attritional at this point. I mean, like, I know our department lost what, 3, 4, and we got 0, right? 1, you. Which is, wait, how many years ago did you get hired, Professor Love?
4.
4. Yeah, so 1 in 4 years, and we've lost 4 people in that time. I mean, that's just that's we can't sustain that. Like, and we're running out of teachers that can teach because it's not like in elementary school where everybody, you know, we got 4 4th grade teachers and they can all swap off. Or this is like, you know, if you're not a expert in foreign affairs, you can't teach the class on foreign policy. Or do you get what I'm saying? Like the specificity.
I do, and again, I do,
Right. Okay.
I hear you.
I would say that our last meeting, we're gonna have a speaker coming in from the provost's office.
Perfect.
So that is where this conversation is gonna be
Yeah.
really valuable. So
Cool. I'll bring it up again. I
Yeah.
But I hear you, but I'm hearing you from an economic standpoint as well. And so, like I said, I will take this feedback and I will make sure I let my friends in the provost's office know that when they're coming, that this is gonna be a topic of conversation so they can be prepared to address it with you as well.
And then just 2 quick points for the cameras and the electricity. So I know that there's a conduit that runs under the library for, there's like the tunnel over there for pushing high-speed wire. It goes to some of the other buildings, like it goes into the library and stuff. And I think maybe there's a way to, because it's not every day that we need, you know, 220 volt power connections for amplifiers and stuff, but it might be possible to put a cluster into one of the breaker boxes in one of the big buildings and then run it through that conduit out into the quad, so that way Wixon doesn't end up having a big problem. You don't have to spend 10 grand to tear up concrete to get it out. In other words, you could go to the box, pull the wiring out for certain events. So that's a thing. And then I know we were talking about crashes and traffic cameras before the meeting started today, and Mike had some good ideas about cameras that require less infrastructure and would be cheaper to put up.
Oh, trust me, Mike's gonna be part of the solution to that
Okay.
problem because Mike, that's what Mike does for a living.
Yeah,
at Rick.
yeah. He's
So Mike, trust me, he will be one of the people that will be, dealing with that. But also, just so you know though, when we put more cameras up, we also have to have more servers to record them and keep the recordings long enough so that if someone is delayed in telling us that their car got hit or they didn't go out to their car for 3 days, we can also be able, the amount of server space it takes, we have over 200, 300, we have a lot of cameras on campus. That's a lot of server space. I'm not saying we're not gonna do it, cause we will. And we will buy them more servers to have the space, but I also just wanna be sure that I also tell you that, like, if you have a car in the lot, you don't move it a lot, go check on it every once in a while, because the sooner you can tell us, because we can only carry probably about 7 to 14 days of camera footage. So one of the things, because I read all the Maxient reports that come in on all the things that happen on campus, because I like to know what's going on. And I've seen the reports that you're talking about. And one of the issues we had is like a student's car got damaged, but they didn't know when because they had not gone out to their car in like a couple of days. And so they were trying to go back through 3 or 4 days worth of camera footage to try to see if they could find it too. So that's another thing I just wanna kind of put out there as a thing.
Yeah, maybe if we could have a policy that's communicated to students to get it down to like 5 days worth of reporting or 7 days, and then that way we reduce the number of days we have to hold on to data, and then we can make better use of the storage space that we have.
No, I'm gonna get you more cameras, period.
Oh, I'm
I
just
agree
saying,
with you.
like for
Understood.
cost savings purposes, and because it's expensive to store data, especially in cloud. Yeah. I'm good, thank you.
we're gonna keep this moving. We have a question from Representative Reed.
Oh yeah, so as other students have mentioned, there's like some quality of life or safety concerns, and one of the things I've noticed personally in my experience I read,
Mhm.
is that some of the bathrooms tend to not have the best quality or have serious infrastructure issues.
We are-
Where, for example, at the bottom floor of Alger Hall, one of the men's room toilets just the stall door doesn't close. So if you attempt to use it, you kind of have to hold it open while attempting to use it. And just general other plumbing related concerns, I guess. And I was wondering, since that's such a kind of, nobody wants to be open about, you know, like, oh, something, the bathroom didn't work as well as I wanted it to, and there was a negative side effect to that. I was wondering if there's more so like a directed space where students can report those issues to, and also what actually fixing those issues will look like for the school when it comes to finances, timing for it, just in general. more information.
So we do work on those types of things all the time. I will say this, there is a ticketing system that is available on the web where you can put in a ticket and tell us that there's something wrong. I'm not 100% sure if it can be completely anonymous, but I promise you we're not gonna like come bug you about it. But I will say this, if you can use the ticketing system to tell us when there's something wrong in a building, whether it be the temperature is not right, the lights don't work, you don't, like, I'll just be honest, if you're in a classroom, one of the things I have an issue with is my overhead projector is not very clear on the board, and I had to put in a ticket to make sure that somebody came in and got it focused. And I forgot to do it, and I finally asked somebody to do it for me, but here's the thing. If you can put in a ticket and tell me where it is and what the problem is, then I can fix it. But I will also say this, there is an email address, it's called vpaf@ric.edu. If you don't wanna put in a ticket, if you'll send me an email, I'll get somebody to put in the ticket for you so that you didn't have to have the horrificness of having to put in the ticket. But the thing is we can't fix it if we don't know. I will also say this, one of the other things you could try to do that might work is telling the housekeeper that if you see the housekeeper on your floor, like cleaning or doing or whatever, then you could ask them to tell us, but again, the safest, most best way that you can tell me that something's wrong and I can address it and get it fixed is to put in a ticket. And it's like I said, if you put in there how to put in a ticket on the ourric.edu, it will tell you, you can get there and give us a ticket and tell us that there's something wrong and we will fix it. Cause here's the thing, I don't want you to have to worry about the bathroom stall not being closed. I wanna go fix it, but I have to know where exactly it is. And I don't have the ability, and we don't have enough staff to be able to, I wish we had an ability to like inspect every building and every bathroom on a very regular basis, but we don't. But so again, all of you can help us by telling us where you're finding things that are less than desirable, and then we can address it.
You know, housekeeping doesn't have a way to make tickets, maybe you should give them a way to do that, and then they would tell you when a door is broken or something. Well, they don't know that they do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think a lot of students even know how to find the ticketing system, even I have to like Google it to get to the page to find it.
I'll be honest, I do too.
I could never
So I'm
remember
like,
what it was called.
Okay,
Right,
so
yeah.
make the tickets easier to do. Okay, I can do that.
Put it on our main webpage, like have a problem.
Yeah, I bet if
click
housekeeping
there.
knew they could or if they were able, they would, probably, like, at least some of them.
That sounds good.
Okay, I will see if IT can move where the tickets are, or at least give us a link, a thing that you can push from a front page to
Rick
get to
dot
where it
something's
is.
broken dot edu.
Alright, Ted, when I fix this, I'm gonna send you the email to send out to the student body to tell them where the new link is to submit tickets.
Awesome. Okay, we're gonna hear from Representative Dempsey and then Representative Valdez, and then we are gonna let you off the hook.
But you can invite me back next semester if you want.
Oh, of course.
Two questions. One, if I wanted to see the financial statements myself online, are they like, what, does the Form 990 and the Rick's financial statements like online, like accessible, do you have to like?
Yes. No, so we don't have to do a Form 990 because we're state government, but our financial statements are available on ourric.edu. If you actually put in the search bar financial statements, they will come up and you can click, it'll take you to the page, and I think the last 6 or 7 years worth are online.
And my last question, I don't know if you deal with the grocer's office, but
I do.
I'm curious, how come you guys are no longer accepting cash?
So that is a federal banking issue. So after 9/11, they've put in all kinds of federal banking rules about the acceptance of large amounts of cash. And so what happened is that when we were accepting cash, people were trying to find ways to break up transactions. And so if someone pays us over a certain amount of cash, we have to report it with your social security number and all kinds of information to the federal government. And we didn't want to do that to protect students who want, there's legal reasons we did that. To be
You still
perfectly
write
honest.
checks or
Hmm?
you still take checks?
We still take checks. You can come in person and deliver a check, money order, or pay us online through ACH and or credit card.
Yeah, I know, I try to avoid the fee if I can.
No, understood. But yes, if you want to bring me if you want to bring the bursar a paper check to the window, absolutely we will accept it. We just can't take cash because of the tax reporting stuff that we have to do because of money laundering and terrorism, unfortunately.
And then, if that's all you have, Representative Dempsey, we're gonna hear from Representative Valdez.
So as someone involved in bulletin boards, there's a lot of events that happen on campus, and oftentimes there's space that goes out, SCG flyers and events that have to be covered for these reasons. Some of the bulletin boards, as well as Engage Hall, are harder to access on the town hall. I was wondering if we would potentially find a ladder or some steps that we can use to access those spots. And potentially for the quad, maybe a community board, something that people walk by, something that everyone can see what's going on campus. Because a lot of times, there's something that the students don't know what's going on.
Okay, quick question, where would you want it on the quad? Cause it has to be, I would expect you would want it to be covered so that it's not gonna get rained on and.
Yeah, maybe something, that's like a base.
I don't know if I can fix the quad thing, but I can look at I can look at getting more bulletin boards. I can ask them to not make them too high so that people can reach them.
Hey, the ones in Gage Hall are set in. Like you go down a hallway, you have to walk down a particular hall, and then they're like alcoved in, so people don't really even see. I walk by them all the time. Never notice what's there. Like,
Representative Zito, did you have something to speak on that?
I did, yeah, I just wanted to comment on some of the construction that's happening outside of Adams Library, if that's appropriate,
Sure.
with the the video boards. So that's another place where we'll be able to advertise events and be able to put things out on top of you know, the paper flyers everyone likes, but this will be another really exciting space to advertise and put information out there to students and folks. And so just wanted to share that as well. So we are addressing it a different way, but not the exact way that you had mentioned, Jasmine.
Representative Kane?
Possible solution that perhaps, I know, I'm not, Lucas, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, but so there's an API that Lucas is working on with Mark from Student Union Cell, and it's gonna be incorporated potentially into a signage player, and it's gonna be an API key. Lucas can explain that, which may help the advertising of what's happening today on some type of signage player perspective. It may not be a physical bulletin board, but it's something that could be articulated, updated every day, live form. I don't know, Lucas, I don't know if you wanna talk about that, sorry to put you on the spot.
No, you're good. One of the prototypes so far. That's pretty much it so far, but if you have any thoughts on it, please ask me. The goal of it is to essentially take Rick Connect and make everything automated, so like still doesn't have to like upload flyers every single day to the signage players, which reduces a lot of headroom for them to do other things too.
Cool. Representative Ward?
Yeah, so a couple things on this. Just in Dawn, I can share that there are bulletin boards that are gonna be added for this reason. So we're asking folks to keep the flyers off the glass. I know that's been a real effort from the college. And so currently we are working with Michael Cunningham in the dean's office to locate a couple of more boards there. The other opportunity is there are several LCDs in Donovan. And so if you have flyers and you can put them in a PDF or a digital format and get them to us, we can help you by advertising on those screens as well.
how would students get this stuff? Like, where's the place you would send things to be put up?
Dining service has a general email inbox, so
Okay.
diningservices@rick.edu.
And then like if we wanted it on the other board, it'd be a different place to send stuff to. If we're gonna do this, we gotta do it where like you send it to one thing and then everybody can update all the boards, right? Like,
Yeah, at this point, I'm just saying there's opportunities to promote your events in Dawn. And you
Alright,
just need to
So we
send
need to
us
make a more
digital.
unified way of, sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off, Mike. A more unified way to do electronic signage when we get to electronic signage.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Anastasia. Do you have any final thoughts, any things you wanna tell us, goals, things you wanna see?
My goals are to make your student experience be the best we possibly can with the resources that we have available to you. Last thing I would say is in this legislative session, we are going up to either extend or make permanent the Hope Scholarship. We definitely need your advocacy for that. Anybody you know who can advocate for that, anybody who knows anybody who can advocate for that. One of the most important things that we can do for Rick is to solidify and either extend or make permanent the Hope Scholarship. That is huge for this college, it's huge for our students, and it's one of the ways that we can make sure that Rick is healthy going forward in all aspects, because it really does help, one, make sure our enrollment stays where it is now, because we need to stay around 6,500 because that makes us financially healthy. So we want our enrollment to be between 6,500 and 7,000. So again, anything you can do to make students feel great and wonderful and feel at home at Rick, that's what we need, because that's a really good spot for us to be able to be financially healthy. We need the Hope Scholarship to remain and be here for our students, because that helps everybody be able to afford their college education, which creates a great workforce for the state of Rhode Island, which then makes Rhode Island better, and then makes it where we have an ability for the state to be able to continue to invest in Rick. I think that's it.
All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you for sacrificing your
thank you everybody for your questions, for your concerns. I think it's really valuable when we get to talk to administrative in person. There are no presenters for open forum today, so we are gonna move on to updates from officers. President DiGregorio, any updates?
Yes, 1 second.
Okay. Take your time, but not too long.
No, you're good.
Okay.
This has Oreos on it.
Okay, my announcements. Hey guys, talking, thank you very much. So some of my updates include, for the college committees that you're on, if you've started going to them, you need to start reporting out what you've been hearing at committees. So make sure that you let me know the Friday before Parliament, that you have information to give. Because we wanna start hearing what you guys are doing, what committee work you guys are getting done, and maybe contribute to the conversation that's happening in your committee so we can properly represent students and what they wanna see. Next, just before this, I'm sure Mike, we were talking about this right after, but we met with him just before this meeting about the no frills menu. It's coming along very well, and we're starting, I think you said we'll be out in like maybe the next week, which is really good news. Miguel and I, Treasurer Hoyos and I met with President Warner, and we talked about the concert, we talked about how student life is going so far. And out of that, we got a contact, I think her name was Sarah Phillips, that we're gonna be meeting with about the future surveys that we do, because we just got the executive summary done recently that we're gonna be reporting out at Rick Council about. Tess and I will be giving a presentation on that. So we'll be learning about how we could do better data gathering and surveying, so that'll be something I do with Deputy Speaker Doyle. Also meeting with Warner's strategic planning contact that they used for their strategic compass, so that we can figure out how we want to move forward, considering we want to have a strategic planning committee. And we have a ton of ideas to work through. And part of that was, as Perry Levis said, was finding what is our reason and purpose behind all the changes that we're making, and what is the larger goal that we're contributing to. Next was the idea of, and I'm sure Treasurer Hoyos will speak more to this later, but in Finance Commission, Treasurer Hoyos was delegating out policy for different things that he personally wants to tackle this year. And I was thinking that maybe we could do a similar thing for some of the ideas that I announced that we came back with from the conference. So nothing that we've already worked on, like the student body vote, inventory policy, things like this. These are things that we're already doing right now, because a lot of our committees have quorum, all of our committees have quorum now. So we'll be able to start putting out policies through these committees. But I was just curious about everyone's thoughts on that. You can talk to me after or bring it up during issues of parliament or whatever, whether or not you like that idea or not. Basically, you could just maybe we can make groups of parliament members and have each of you tackle the different things that we want to work on and just write out what the policy would look like as a rough draft, and then we could look it over in committee and bring it to parliament. And then lastly, the last thing was just that we're going to have a lot of policies coming through. Student body vote will be coming up soon. Tess is working on some general just election policy right now, which I'm sure you'll speak more to. That's all for my updates.
Alright, thank you. We're gonna have your updates from Vice President Sullivan.
First, I'm just gonna get a vibe check. So the two options are, would everybody maybe wanna do like a 2-minute recess where everyone can kind of just have like a minute to just reconvene so we can lock in, or do you wanna power through? So think about it. Okay, raise your hand if you'd want like a 2-minute recess. Okay, and raise your hand if you wanna power through. Alright, see, glad I asked. Okay, so for my notes, and if you want to take a 2-minute recess, feel free to get up and take a lap. Understood.
There are desserts.
Yeah, there's desserts,
didn't
there's
notice them.
bathroom. There was a lot, Okay, so for me, I can start with elections. We met last week. Thank you for everybody who came. It was really successful. I feel really good about it. I have some updates I'm gonna bring to next meeting. There's still room if you wanna join. It's a pretty big committee right now, but big things coming from elections. What else? Okay, PR met, I emailed a bunch of people who are in PR, and I didn't hear, I heard from some people that they couldn't make it, but if you can't make it, please let me know. And if more people would like to join PR, we meet Fridays 10 to 11, so please let me know if you wanna join. We're gonna come up with some new ideas, work with some people. In there, we talked about the thing we're gonna do for town hall, which is where we're getting sticky notes from people. I got some from the Dells, it's not Dells anymore. I'm working on new names, I'm getting creative. But it was Josh and Sonia who did it last, and then some people put some sticky notes, so we're getting some data from there. So that'll be good for the town hall, which is gonna come up in a few weeks. I know Jack's probably gonna talk about some more. And then student entertainment committee is going really well. I just got the contract back from the agent. He's making some amendments to it right now. Hopefully it'll go through pretty quickly. It's gonna get pinballed back and forth so that everything's all chill and Gucci. I don't have a whole bunch. That's all mine. I yield the floor to Speaker Tomley.
Back to me. Okay, thank you. Now we're gonna hear updates from Secretary Colonas.
Hey everyone, it's been a second, and I just wanted to apologize for not being at the last two parliament meetings. I'm in the midst of my volleyball season, and they happened to fall during our time of parliament, so I apologize. I see a lot of new faces in here, so I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Marina, I'm the SCG secretary, and I'm kind of in charge of all the clubs and organizations on campus. So, a couple updates I have. You guys should have all received an email from me about the holiday party, RSVP for that. If you guys could all do that and fill out the small form, that would be great. Another thing, if you're part of any clubs or organizations, please push for your clubs or organizations to fill out your program emails and get those back to me, please.
Okay, thank you. Treasurer Hoyos, your updates, please. No updates. Okay, I've got a couple leaves and then just some reminders. So first, Cindy Kozel was not able to make it tonight. She had a family emergency. So I'd like to seek a motion to approve Cindy Kozel's leave. First by Representative Roca, second by Representative Logan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passed. Secondly, Donovan Dodson is taking his driver's test exam tonight, so he was not able to make it. So I'd like to seek a motion to approve Donovan Dodson's leave. First by Representative Alceros, second by Representative Reed. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passed. Next, Matthew Jakes, he got called into work last minute, so he's not able to make it tonight. I'd like to seek a motion to approve Matthew Jakes' leave. First by Deputy Speaker Doyle, second by Representative Logan. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Next, Jason Sanchez also got called into work last minute, so he was not able to make it tonight. I'm seeking a motion to approve Jason Sanchez's leave. First by Vice President Sullivan, second by Representative Sigwin. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. And then last, oh, that's a good one. Jamie Goldberg was not able to make it in tonight. A personal thing came up for him, so I'm seeking a motion to approve Jamie Goldberg's leave. First by Vice President Sullivan, second by Representative Roca. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, those are all the leaves. A lot less than last time, thankfully. Just some reminders at the end of the meeting, make sure your name tags get into the bin so we don't lose them. And when we're having discussions and we're going back and forth, make sure you put your name tag up and you get called on just so everyone has an equal and fair chance to speak. And we do have more speakers coming. Next Parliament meeting, we have President Warner coming in. And then our last Parliament meeting, which is December 3rd, we have the Provost and Vice Provost coming in, I believe. And
Super chill guy.
yeah, super chill guy, according to the test. That's all I got.
Super chill. Appreciate that. Ringing endorsement.
Deputy Speaker Doyle, you got any updates for us?
Of course I do.
Of course he does.
Alright, hi everybody. Conditions and services, it's gonna be Friday, November 7th, 2 to 3 p.m. Be there, be square. I sent an email out, it did say November 6th. Judy graciously let us know in that email chain. So it is November 7th. We're prepping for our town hall on November 19th. And we have to work on our conditions and services policy because that doesn't exist yet. We're gonna work with Dante and Joan's got a few steps for us on what we can do. But as far as conditions and services, we're still looking for one parliament member and one non-parliament member. That doesn't mean that 2 parliament members couldn't join, but we need one, and one non. But yeah, we have a few things that we need to do. We need to know if the lounges are good or not. Tess was doing a thing in Dawn about if you had a magic wand, what would you fix at Rick? She has all the results, so we have to go through those. We wanted to do we don't want to do that. That was a little note from me, so never mind. But that's all I really got. But yeah, conditions and services, we're working hard. But we start on Friday, so be there. One parliament, one non-parliament. So if you're looking for a new committee, get on. All right. Cool. Thank you. Is that all you got, Jack? All I got. Sweet. We are going to move on to some conference reports. So even though they're already here, I'd like to seek a motion to bring Wixon in to give their conference report. First by Representative Seguin. Wait, can you do that? You're part of Wixon.
Oh.
Nobody's
That's so
about to
awkward.
vote.
That's so
Big
awkward.
First by Representative Smith. Second by Representative.
You're a part 2.
Get out of here. Second by Representative Valdez. All right, so we're gonna So we got Wixon. They went to Denver. Is that correct?
Sure did.
They went to Denver. They went to a cool conference, and they are going to present it.
Can I just say it from here?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so we went to a conference. It's called CBI. It's the College Broadcasters Incorporated. This year it was in Denver. It's kind of for all media orgs, but we went for the radio station. We learned a lot of cool things. Tess spoke at it about creating a community because, I don't know, I think Wixon has a pretty awesome community, but maybe that's just me. Paige went to 50 low-cost or no-cost promotions.
so that we don't have to use as much of SCG's budget, and hopefully we can do things cheaper. Paige Martins, one of our music directors, she learned how to talk to music industry outside of like the college radio to see if we can get some connections to them. And Meg, our promotions director, is saving our college radio station's history. Our office right now is completely full of boxes. She kind of did it like all today. So she is making progress on that. So from the things that we learned, we have a couple new things that we want to start. We want to get all of our archives in the library because we have a file, there's just nothing in it. So we're gonna start putting stuff in there, and we're starting a point system in committees within Wixon so that we can hopefully get our general members more engaged in like understanding the behind the scenes and stuff. And then we are trying to implement internships for different majors that they can get some credit with us by working with us in whatever they need. There's more details on my page, but that's kind of the summary of it.
Great, thank you. All right, I was a dummy and I forgot to do a vote for the motion to bring Wixon in, even though they're already here. So, all in favor to bring Wixon in, even though they were already here? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, any abstentions?
Aye.
Yeah. Aye.
I say your name, put your hand down. Oh, Jack.
Holy cow.
Wednesday.
Yeah, maybe it is a problem.
Ben, what would have happened if we denied it?
Aye.
We would have reversed time, gone back in time.
Did you get that hand up? Doesn't he have a show coming up?
Riley.
How could you think of that?
I know, I've done a lot worse than I was.
Okay.
Sure.
So fall allergies. I'm dealing with the same thing.
Is that everybody?
Yep.
All right, cool. Thank you guys. Now we are gonna move on to reports. We're gonna hear from Treasurer Hoyos with meeting minutes from, let's see, when? October 22nd. I yield the floor to Treasurer Hoyos.
Alright, please take a few minutes to review the Finance Commission meeting minutes for October 22nd. And these were amended during Finance Commission because they currently say the 4th, but it was the 5th meeting, right at the first paragraph. Was there anything else, Will?
The page 4, next to Representative Burkless's name, it doesn't say representative, it doesn't say representative. And then on page, I think it was page 6, 2 finance members, him and who was the other person? The gamer had a request and they both had to abstain from it, and it was written twice but not on the last motion.
Alright, those were the amendments made to the minutes. Alright.
I can't find it.
Acting chair is entertaining a motion to approve the amended minutes. So moved by Representative Mann, seconded by Representative Reed, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. I yield the floor back to Speaker Tony.
All right, thank you, Treasurer Hoyos. We are gonna move on to updates and remarks. We're gonna go right to faculty updates from Dr. Perry Levis.
Hi, everyone. Okay, first, this is a request, and I don't know, I wanna just also give a props. Olivia and the staff at the Anchor newspaper is putting out such good work. And I just feel like we are not doing a great job really promoting the work on campus. And part of that is the sadness of being 55 years old and like liking hard copy newspapers, school newspapers, and seeing them all over campus. But I don't know what we can do, but I think that there's an opportunity of us doing a better job promoting the work of the Anchor. And so that's just something for us to think about. Okay, Olivia had no idea that I was gonna give that props. So sorry for having your name shouted. Two issues that Melissa and I wanted to bring, but I got nominated from the 9-month pregnant woman to my right, that I had to present both of them.
I run out of breath really quick.
So,
I'm
but-
here though.
It is Melissa's
I'll
last
chime in.
meeting,
I'll
but she'll
chime
chime in. Okay, so two issues. One is, it has been brought to our attention that currently faculty are able to see information about student grades from our MyRic and the Starfish that are connected. So we always used to be able to see midterm grades, but it was brought to our attention by a faculty member that not only can I see midterm grades, but I can see individual assignment grades of students that are in the course, not even in my courses. Now, I don't know why that's a problem, honestly, because I could see information before, but we wanted to bring it. It was brought to our attention, and I don't know if it's something that all students know, is that a student who is not in my course, I can see their grades, or individual
Anything in
grades on
Blackboard.
assignments.
It's in Blackboard.
It's
Can
in
you see
Black.
like my grades? If you wanted to like look it up, or is it just like people who are in your like, if you're taking like American poli sci, you can just see those?
No, I can see it, doesn't.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, who did I look up?
Who'd
Well,
you
she
look
was
up?
my advisee, so she's not in my
In my class.
classes.
Anyways, there's some question about what information between Starfish and Blackboard that now there's more of an exchange of information. So this is a point to, another faculty member brought it up to us to say, do students know this? And I think that we should investigate it. It's a point of investigation.
Can I ask a bunch of clarifying questions?
Yes, but I don't know if we know all of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out how I can ask this question. Okay. So, okay, can you see, like, if you were to look at one of these students in this room who you don't have in class, can you see their grades?
I can see their midterm grades, and that was something we all knew.
Okay.
Okay, but now
look it up.
we can actually see their grades for certain assignments.
Okay.
And that
that's
didn't
in
used to,
Starfish?
yes,
Got it.
okay?
Representative Pacheco, do you have a question to ask?
Yeah, I mean, so if it was just limited to like your advisees,
No, I think we can see everyone. So I think all faculty, because we have access to your ID numbers, so essentially I can see, but I will.
so anyone with access to Starfish like can now also see anything that's tied to that person's
Not
ID
anyone,
through-
with faculty access.
with faculty, well, that's what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah.
So like if it was just limited to like our professors or our advisors, I don't really see how that would be too big of a problem, but I could see where it would be a problem that like random faculty members would have access to
We
it.
do, I just checked it and I can see
My grades.
Lucas's
So-
grades in his
Okay,
classes.
well, also, but you're a teacher, like.
Yeah, so it's,
No,
yeah,
it's
it's a
fa-
faculty thing, it's
we can-
faculty can see
All
all the students'
students.
grades in Blackboard.
Right, but there's other people that aren't academic faculty that I wonder if they'd have access to it too, yeah.
Anyways, this faculty member wanted to bring it,
Yep.
and also the head of the faculty union wanted us also to bring it, so that we can actually make students aware, and so that you have that knowledge. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
But we're not saying that we're concerned,
I
cause
mean,
we're
I'm
not really
not
sure if
concerned,
there's a
I
reason to
don't,
be
yeah,
concerned.
so we're not sure whether or not it is an issue,
Cause
but
you know, sometimes like your faculty members won't post your midterm grades and that's really frustrating, but then as your advisor, I'm like, well, maybe I can help, but it's like I couldn't see anything else before that. But now I can see pretty much how you're doing, but not the actual midterm grades, so I'm like, that could be helpful.
Okay, Treasurer Hoyos?
Who is our representative on the Academic Affairs Committee? We should have one, at least one. Is there a different name?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different names.
Is there any kind of academic committee that someone's on?
Again, I'm on academic advocacy.
Oh, no. Probably not.
Is it
Okay.
academic advising? Does somebody just say that?
Yeah.
Cause that could be a committee to bring it to.
Wasn't I on one of them?
I am not sure.
Cause I move to bring this discussion to that committee that deals with academics.
Okay. First by Representative Mann, second by Representative Howlett. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right.
And my other update is I wondered whether or not before the end of this semester, we could have a representative from student engagement and leadership development. And Ted, is that you?
I oversee that area.
Okay,
Yeah.
if we could have a presentation about the relationship between what they do and the student program, the programming board, because we've heard some questions from some of our students about what they're doing, if they feel that they actually are trained to be doing some of the work they're doing on the programming board, and how the staff works in relationship to student workers. So we thought that maybe that could be a discussion to bring to SCG.
Vice President Sullivan.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Are you all good?
Those are my two.
Okay, before we go to Melissa's announcements, I made a little card. We really appreciate your work here. I mean, I lived with Riley and Jamie and Paige. I heard your praises for so long, and it was really cool to finally meet you. And you are such a great advocate for students. I see it, like, you're always out there. You're pregnant right now and you're here. You know what I mean? Like, you're incredible and your work does not go unnoticed and the students love you. And so
I have a lot of hormones right now, so please don't.
Thank you so much.
We shouldn't all start clapping.
That's very sweet of you. Yes, I am ready to pop it any second. And like we were saying, like this might be my last meeting in person because I don't know how things are gonna go. But then you're like, but then at the next meeting, so and so is gonna be here, and the next meeting, so and so. I was like, well, can you zoom me in because I want to know like what's going on.
We can.
From the hospital
Do
room?
it from the hospital, like right.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just like, I still want to be involved as much as I can, but I've never been a mother before, so I'm like, I don't know what the as much as I can is, but like, I don't wanna lose my spot here,
You're gonna zoom
because
in
I love it
during
so much.
labor.
I'll be screaming, I'll be like, oh, and I gotta mute. Mark, can you mute your microphone? You're screaming really loud. But yeah, so no, thank you guys so much, I really appreciate it, and I love doing this, and I love you guys, and like you said, you can tell I'm just everywhere all the time, still somehow, but it's cause I appreciate what we do here, and I don't know how the whole nomination process works, but like, what we do, like 2-year terms, and then
You and I are done in June, unless they renew us, but we can talk about it.
unless we're renewed, we're done in June, so.
No pressure.
So,
Okay.
if you like me, I'm just saying, I keep you around. But other than that, no, I mean, Perry covered the announcements that we we're most concerned about. That second one is really important to me in terms of student workload, life balance stuff with how much people take on in terms of like the programming and things like that, so.
Are you talking specifically about CELD or programming board?
Both, the relationship
relationship
between
between
both and students on programming board feeling that they're doing too much work and not necessarily having either the skills or necessarily the expertise to be doing those things. And it's interfering with their schoolwork.
Great.
I wanna talk to you some more.
Yeah, I figured that.
Are there any
You're
more
welcome.
questions?
No, I also just give a plug, because Val's not here, but I do, seriously, the president does want student voice at the presidential forum. And I think not just about SCG, but also about if you can get people there. It's gonna be a start of a longer discussion about the relationship between the college's emphasis around workforce development and more traditional liberal arts. And so I don't think this is the end, it's the start, but I'll just echo what Val said, which is to see if we can show up. And if you want to be a facilitator, like Val said, you could encourage your faculty member to give you extra credit for being a facilitator or a note taker in one of those 8 or 9 small work group breakouts. So that's what I would encourage you to do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Professor Levis, do you have a competing event at that time? I have a thing in my calendar for a policy forum. Or that's not, is that from one of our things here at SCG then? Something's in my notes for a policy forum. Did it have to be for this or for our department? It's Monday the 9th, right?
The 10th.
The 10th.
10th, yeah. So I had in here Union Ballroom Policy Forum. I don't know, but if we do have an event in the department, maybe we should
No,
move
it's
it.
not we don't have a department event that night, so I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Maybe it was an outside, I don't know. We definitely don't have a department event that night.
Interesting, okay.
All right, well, if there are no more questions, thank you for your updates, and we are gonna move on to updates from Mr. Mike Kane.
Hello, folks. Really brief about Vice President Rodriguez's comments about Wi-Fi infrastructure upgrades and other things. This summer, we were very busy. This room is equipped with Wi-Fi 7, 2 access points. Donovan, Maine has 15 access points. The Student Union, we added an additional 9 Wi-Fi 7 access points. To that concept, we were also fully implemented with audio visual across all of the rooms in the Student Union on the 3rd floor, Fact Maine, Fact South, and Donovan, Maine. It is an ongoing, we get funding every year, so we don't just warp waste pizza head with unlimited money and things like that. We do take it as a priority for Wi-Fi for students, the cameras and all that as well. Those things come with funding, and we have been receiving funding for those things, so I don't want y'all to feel like perhaps this is being like neglected. It's just we are paving the way forward with the limited but semi-decent level of resources we do have.
Thank you. Are
And I
there
can take any questions.
any questions? Yes. Seeing that there are none, or hearing that there are none, we're gonna move into Mr. Michael Ward.
All right, good evening. So I'm not gonna get into gory details from what Dante alluded to earlier. We met just before this with regards to the student value catering guide. It should be communicated within the next week or so. It's an opportunity for recognized clubs and organizations to save a little money when they do catering. So I'll leave it at that. More to come. I can share that I have recently approved the POs for a mild renovation at Dawn. I may have spoke about this the last meeting, but we'll call it lipstick and rouge. So the Donovan Dining facility out front will get a fresh coat of paint, different color, some new seating, some carpet in areas, and eventually some lighting. So the idea is some comfy spots that you don't currently see, some booth seating, some soft seating in the dining room. So we're really looking forward. That should happen over the winter recess. That's a thing. And with that, I'll keep it brief.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions? Nope. Okay, we're gonna move on to updates from the one and only Ted Zito.
Thank you. Wanted to just shout out our great open house this weekend. If you had a chance to be there, it was amazing. Record numbers of students and estimated based on occupancy of the Murray Center, about 1,600 people total, which is amazing. So just and if you were there, the energy was strong, people were happy, the food was great. There was a lot of effort to make that a special day, and when it goes that smoothly, there's a lot of people working behind the scenes to make it go. And it was just great. So for those of you who were able to participate, thank you. I wanted to promote and plug some events that are coming up real quickly. November 20th will be our big and ever popular Gerald's Thanksgiving dinner, where folks will be serving. Everyone looks forward to that. And coming up quickly, December 5th will be our late night breakfast. And then for Veterans Days, will be a Veterans Day celebration, if you will, or an opportunity to thank a veteran by making cards on Monday between 10 and 12, I think, or 12 and 2. I have to look that piece up, but it should be in your app. And then also an opportunity to say, would you make the cut if you were with the National Guard, some of the physical activities you could do outside and see, would you be able to get it done? So some different creative ideas they're doing with that. But wish you all the best, the semester's flying, so hope that you take full advantage of your time here, study hard, study smart, and I'll leave it there. Yield.
Thank you. Oh, Treasurer Hoyos.
Ted, I had a question
Yeah.
for you. So I worked open house with admissions and I saw the spirit squad there.
Yep.
Could we get an update on that and any other things that are happening with like athletic clubs?
Sure, I don't have a lot to offer right now. I know that they were added in, I think they had tryouts for the squad this year, whereas I think in previous years, a lot of the women from the gymnastics team were doing it, so this was more of an effort to bring people who are interested in doing that type of spirit work, so that's exciting. I don't have an update about other clubs, but that's something I'm hoping to have soon.
Okay.
But on that, so I'll keep it on my radar, write it down to make sure. And I guess since I'm on that topic, please know what Perry said about Anastasia is very accurate. I work with Anastasia very regularly and stuff has to get done. So today, I mean, friends, if you could see what happened at the pantry, you would have been blown away. It looked like a river of water there. And I was like, oh my gosh, the first thing we all said was food. What are we gonna, and we lost a little bit of food, but immediately facilities was there, Anastasia was there. And we constructed a plan to not only make sure that we were taking care of the facility in itself, but getting funding over the next couple of days to make sure our students of most need got access to grocery cards. We have a grant from dining working with meal cards, and so she does get it done. But so what I would say is that if there's stuff that you all have concerns about, please let us know, let me know, let Anastasia know. I can't read your minds. I'd love to be able to, but I cannot do that. But so if I don't know, we can't do it. So I just want to encourage you to please make sure, don't wait on these things when you're hearing about nonsense out there. Let us know so we can fix it. So thank you. Just endorsement for that.
Representative Roca.
So to kind of piggyback off of like the food pantry idea and like, cause obviously SNAP is a big deal right now.
Yep.
It's not necessarily for our Rhode Island residents, but our Mass residents who are getting like SNAP benefits. They can also get HIP benefits, which a lot of people don't know about. It's the Healthy Incentive Program. So essentially you get at least $40 extra a month for like fruits, veggies, like that kind of stuff without any additives. And there's not a lot of places that take it. It's usually farmers markets, but I actually work at the store that does take it. It's Johnson's and Johnson's Farmers Market in Swansea, and it's like a whole building. We're open till Christmas Eve. So we take that. If anybody like you have that, we'd love to see you and help you out and take care of you guys. So
Thank you.
Great to hear.
Representative Logan.
Yes, last spring semester, the public relations committee did a food drive and I actually coordinated it. And I was wondering if we had any plans to do one this year with Thanksgiving coming up.
I would direct that to.
Can totally get that ball roll. I can email you next week about it.
Yes.
That was not, yeah, I would totally love to get that happening. I know there's some boxes in Dawn already, I think, but we can have our own and put them in certain spots on the.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause that was
Keep me
really
posted.
successful. Yeah, sounds good.
Representative LaRose.
I just also wanted to offer the environmental club support for something like that. We've been looking to get involved with a food drive of some kind. And I know Sojourn had to reach out to us as well, but shameless plug, we would be so happy to help you guys if you need people to help collect or put food bins up anywhere, so.
Okay, Representative Ward.
So I will just say, Ted mentioned Gerald's Thanksgiving. We last year did if members of the community showed up with canned goods, they get a discount. They pay a small price coming in the door, but that's a great opportunity to make it a thing. So if we could get the word out, that will be an event where we're trying to collect perishables.
Great, thank you. Representative Levis.
I have no idea if we can do this, but at URI, when I taught there, we actually had a farmer's market on campus that was free for students. And I wonder if we could do something like that. Anyway, so students got a ticket and they could go to the farmer's market and get a certain amount of food. And it was a really terrific thing on campus.
Okay, I like this brainstorming, but do we have anything more
Sorry, we're done.
specifically for Ted Zito?
Well, that would be a tech
It's,
It is
I'll
Ted
take
Day,
it,
that
it's
is
all good
true.
feedback, yeah.
You like farmers markets, Ted?
Yes, I do.
He does.
I do.
Okay, Treasurer Hoyos?
I move to bring this discussion to the Public Relations Committee
It's a great idea.
so that they may advertise, I heard at least 5 things that students can access and they should know.
Okay, first by Representative Mann, second by Representative Reed, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Pass, okay, you heard that PR.
Sure did,
You
wrote it
got a
down.
job. Okay, are there any more questions for Ted Zito? No, if not, we are gonna move on to appointments, resignations, and vacancies from President DiGregorio.
Hello, everyone.
I'm so excited.
Sorry. So we got, for Elections Commission, I appointed Trinity Buckram, Donovan Dodson, Sainabo Nadoy, Sasha Sainristil, and that's it for elections. Finance is full, conditions and services, you said you needed 1 non-parliament member, right? And 1 parliament member. Bylaws needs 1 non-parliament member, but I think they might have somebody, but still more people's better. Public relations, I appointed Donovan Dodson and Nilsa Toshjan. Student entertainment committee, I think you guys are at quorum, but you guys could always use more people. SOC, how many people how much is it until capacity? Do you know how many people are on? You have 14, so 1 more person can go on SOC. And then nothing for college committees. For resignations, Elias Frawley Gendron resigned from Parliament and Bylaws and Adjudication Commission. And we expelled Representative Falola due to excessive absences. So that's all I got for those.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna move on to issues of parliament members. Just a quick reminder, this is a kind of space to promote club events, got announcements or general complaints. This is,
You gotta vote on that.
on what? Oh, on those? I do.
To approve those, yeah.
Okay. I'd like
Can I
to
get
make
I'll do it. Can I get a motion to approve all of those things I just said?
Okay, first by Representative Mann, second by Representative Logan, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Alright, good. Sorry, guys. Now we are gonna move on to issues of parliament members. Representative Mann?
Okay, well, so you said this is like time to like promote clubs and like problems.
Yeah, general complaints too. It's just, it's not space for like to yell at each other in debate.
No, this is more of a question towards the board. You said that you obviously want to open it up, like the vote, like next year, or for like the e-board to the general population of the college. My only question is, how do you get the whole school to be involved, like to actually want to vote on that?
Well, in terms of actually, do you wanna answer since it's your thing? Yeah, go.
So I think, so we went to the conference, we got a bunch of ideas from a bunch of different schools. I think during our DELs or whatever I choose to name it, having, if we get an iPad or some kind of way to get students to vote right there, having Ted send out mass emails, I think just like really what they said is just like having our faces be out there. I think that's gonna be our best strategy. I also think more students are gonna care than you think, because I think it's like a leadership thing, and I think it's gonna get more people involved in student government too, because people hear president, they wanna be in charge of things.
That's true.
That's why I'm here.
Treasurer Hoyos?
I move to bring this discussion to the Public Relations Committee because
My public relations run elections.
because Public Relations could advertise this and they would need to talk about it.
That's true. First by President DiGregorio, second by Representative Seguin, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Alright, pass. Alright, was there anyone else? Am I missing something? Ollie?
First of all, thank you, Dr. Levis, for the shout out. That was awesome. I really appreciate it. If anybody has any ideas on getting the newspaper out there more, if you're noticing anything, please let me know. I think the biggest issue is like getting people committed or to seek out the newspapers and getting people committed to like checking in on the website every week. So if anybody has any thoughts, come talk to me, email me, whatever. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any more issues of parliament members?
Yes.
Vice President Sullivan?
books and show on Friday, woo! Thanks guys. There's open mic for the first hour, so you just have to sign up. We're gonna have a piece of paper. It's gonna be really chill. I am gonna be in charge of the sound system, so if you're taking too long, I am gonna cut you off. Love. And then after that, it's 2 acoustic acts. I'm sorry, Perry Levels is not the person, but it's Emily Harrison and Nolan Leeds? Something like that. His last name starts with an L. It's gonna be a really great time. We're also looking on doing a food drive, just like everybody else, and doing the same thing where you get discounted tickets. It's free for RIC students, but if you somehow can get some canned goods, that'd be really awesome. Yeah, that's all for me.
Thank you. Are there any more issues of parliament members? Going once, going twice. You're reaching for it.
No, this is for something else.
Treasurer Hoyos.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Alright. First by Representative Mann, second by Representative Howlett. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright. Meeting adjourned.
Roll call.
Keep your seats. The queue's gonna do roll call, please. Present.
Here.
Here. Here.
Always, come on.
Here. Here.
Joshua Ballesteros.
Here.
Lillian Ross. Here. Darlene Campbell. Sonia Taya. Here. William Sands.
Here.
Jonathan Johnson. Jamie Goldberg. Alexander Howard. Riley Jackson.
Here.
Alex Cobb. Stephen Rose.
Here.
No, this year.
Alex Hogan. Here. Michael
I
Mayo.
missed one.
Paige Marshall.
Here.
Madison Mello.
Here.
Marcus Pacheco.
Here.
Kyrie.
Here.
Marcus Rocha.
Present.
Haley Rose. Chris Russell.
Here.
Jason Conrad. Jonathan Stevens.
Here.
Mia Smith. Here. Nelson
There's like
Johnson.
one
Here.
time.
Jonathan Valdez. Lucas Weber.
Present.
Steve Kozo. Mary Levis.
Here.
Melissa Marcotte.
Here.
Michael King.
Here.
Michael Ward.
Here.
Here.
Josh Shea.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Awesome, and so.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Sure, we'll hear all the updates.
I don't know how I'm gonna eat if I'm not here. Seriously.
Mike, thank you for doing the cupcakes.
Yeah.
Mike, for the cupcakes.
It's a group effort.
Yes, I'm sorry. I know we're all part of that, so.
So it's like,
Yeah, like I feel like I don't see it around.
No, that's fine.
Again, like when I would see it, it was like because they were everywhere.
This was
Like where are they now?
Yeah, it's really discussed.
That's the only place I ever see them. I don't see them anywhere. I don't see them tomorrow. Then I was library yesterday.
So I mean, that's the question is like where are they?
But then there were also other concerns of certain budget. That's your pen. So I mean, it's something on the other side. At the moment.